Welcome to the Packweight Show. Yo, welcome back to the Packweight Show. We're here with our great friend Matt Dowdle, aka Matthew Dean, aka the Nokateal, aka Half Jack Double Teal, aka Madala Mbijana. What's up, Matt? How are you today, bro?
We good. Nice to see you guys. Been looking forward to this. Reconnecting with my boy Frankie and John. Sorry, I'm so bad at staying in touch in the traditional ways, but it makes today even more special to be with you.
Your presence is always felt, Matt.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so good to have you here. Hey, my co-hosts John, JQ, and Frankie. Good to see you brothers again.
What's up, man?
Yeah, so today we've got Matt, and him and I go way back. I believe I met him when he was 12 years old and I was 15, probably around 97. And yeah, with our homies Gaz and Justin and Ryan, we're pretty inseparable for a number of years. So it's very awesome to have you on the show. Welcome, brother.
Thank you. You only started to be my friend when I was 12. You knew me before that. You just didn't tolerate my presence at the skate park.
I see. I seem to recall it had something to do with your first pair of wheels. You want to tell us what those were?
Something to do with my obnoxious attitude and my rollerballs.
Rollerballs. There it is. I think Matt's parents fell hook, line, and sinker for the Very Mark commercial on TV showing how much better
Roll
rollerballs
at 60 degrees. Roll on 60 degrees. Yeah.
Man, we got to find a picture of what those things look like. Flash in the pan rollerballs, but very soon after that, he was onto some. Well, what were your first skates after that? Majestic 12s?
Yeah, I went straight to Majestics.
Wow.
So I actually found, it was quite coincidental how I found Kalami Skate Park, because my sister was doing horse riding must have been about 4 or 5 kilometers away, and I wasn't into it. It wasn't my thing. I just had to hang out there after school, and we would just explore what was totally untouched felt bush. There was nothing there at all. And one day we got super far away from the horse riding area, and we found part of the Yuxke River. And then the only ramp at Kalami Skate Park was the 8-foot, I believe, that really rusty brown 8-foot half pipe. And I saw someone from quite far away, standing up on it and then drop in and disappear. And me and my friend that I was with, we must have been 10, 11. We're like, whoa, where'd that person go? What was that? And then we missioned, and I don't know if you guys remember, there was a weird rope bridge that crossed over that part of the Yuxke. It wasn't even the part of the river right by the skate park. It was more by Larry's place, by the tennis courts. So then I went back, I was like, Mom, I saw some stuff. I saw some people doing some things. We got to drive there. We got to go round, because now it's a 10K drive to go round by Kalami Skate Park. And she took us to have a look. And then I was like, I had the rollerballs already. And I was like, this is where I'm bringing my rollerballs, Let's do this. Yeah.
Were you surprised when there were no other rollerballers? That's you.
I didn't think about it. I was just this is so much fun. I was like, I can go on these ramps too. It took me a while. I was a very slow starter, very slow learner in the beginning. But I think once I got the confidence level up, I got comfortable on ramps. A lot of people know I was a ramp skater because of kind of my whole beginning part of my rollerblading career being at Kalami, which had great transitions, big half pipes, big ramps. So yeah, I became a ramp guy. Took me a long time to get into street after that.
Okay.
And so when did you make the decision to switch from the balls to the blades?
When the mockery became unbearable. No, actually, I pretty much wore through those rollerballs. I used them like I used to do. I don't know if you guys remember. I used to do like, obviously there's only one grind you could do on rollerballs, which was front side or back side. I used to do big disasters off those little 2-foot launch ramps, and we'd move the silver rail further and further away. You know, it was like air, front side. Stuff was daring. Stuff was pretty wild back then. So I actually kind of killed the rollerballs, but I'd been begging my dad for Majestic 12s for a long time. And yeah, got that first pair, and then I was accepted. That's when Byron was like, okay, you can talk to us now.
He can roll. He's got skills. Yeah, I mean, Matt was really good from such a young age on all of those transitions and ramps. Like, he'd go super fast, and being such a small stature physically, but large. How do we say? Large aura, just going huge. It was sick. So then he was accepted into my friends group, and then it still took a while for us to get accepted into your guys' friends group. So shit flows downhill, right?
Yeah, I remember the hierarchy of the skate park was very interesting. Like, at first I had no friends, and then I had like one friend, which was James Gladwin, who was also a little bit older than me. So I think the fact that older people were like, okay, he's friends with that James dude, then I could become friends with, it was actually Gaz more than you, Byron. You're a bit of a hate monger. Tough nut to crack, old Byron. He would ridicule you until he ran out of ridicules, and then accidentally say something nice 1% of the time.
It's all born from insecurities, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude, we were kids. I mean, that, you know, I think about it all the time, what an impact kind of growing up and coming of age in a skate park with a lot of older people around me. I feel how that changed me and like helped me grow up in a different way. And Gaz, you know, Gaz had a soft side. You know, Gaz, he would always come out with an olive branch, and he was like, "No, come, man, like, we're doing this. Come do this, try this." And he was definitely the social lubricator. And so yeah, eventually our little gang was myself, Gaz, Byron. I feel like there was one more, and then like Ryan Campbell.
And Butler, maybe?
Butler was already skateboarding. He wasn't rollerblading, but he socially, Justin Butler was like very present. And then yeah, I saw that even Byron and Gaz, even though like they were 2 years older than me, were still not part of the older boys gang. Which was really, at that time, like the main characters were Craig Uriah, Alon was there quite a lot. Graham Dietrichs was a big character in those days at the skate park. Jackson was in many ways the top of the hierarchy. Toby and Ben French also were like always there, and Nick Buchanan. I remember after, like,
and Alonsky,
yeah, no, I said Alon. Alon was there. Alon, when he had like his big afro and rocking Oxygen Argon, he was the only dude with those weird skates. Like, you could see Alon he was into like the counterculture. He was the alternative guy. And the skates said it all, you know. No one wanted to wear Oxygen Argons, but he made them work.
They were sick though. Those were tanky as heck. And I don't think
you could jump in them. They were so
those
tanky.
things were heavy. And I think after the Majestics, I still had a pair of K2 Fatties, which were also on the weird side of skates, but they were so rad.
Yeah, those K2s look good, and you did mad stuff. I remember watching you do crazy stuff with those K2s.
Yo, there was a time when like cess sliding got huge, right? And like on the NIST competitions, I forget the guy's name, but he was doing these like spins into shuffle, like cess slide down the ramp, and I was trying to replicate all of that stuff. It was cool. But those fatties were weird because like, normally skates, the wheels kind of stick out the front a bit, whereas those ones were like a bit more backwards. They had a weird look and feel to them, but they were comfy and they were fun to skate.
Yeah, man, you made those K2s look good. I think I actually wanted K2s because of how you skated them. And I don't know if you remember that other character that came up from Cape Town that we went and we would stay at his house in Cape Town, Ian.
Yes. Ian and Roxanne.
Yeah, well, Ian and me and Roxanne later got arrested in a story that we won't tell today. For not rollerblading, but a rolling trolley. A trolley stunt.
Yeah, no, we'll keep it safe for work.
No,
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly.
Arrested. What sort of word is that? Detained temporarily.
Yeah, temporarily.
Yeah, Ian had K2s. Yeah, it was an interesting time. You could see the politics between like Roces and then like the guys from USD from Cape Town. They were like, no, don't skate Roces, skate USD. And, it was an industry, at the beginning of an industry, really.
I was thinking about that actually, because I remember going, obviously Mel and Brent were Roces and pushed Roces. And then as far as I remember, it was Craig Schmedel's parents who had the upside down. Actually. Yeah. And as you said, they were pushing that and it was kind of Roces versus USD a little bit upside down at the time. Yeah. And then I think as things went, Razors started coming into the Cape Town scene, but we'll get chat to those guys about how that all happened.
Yeah, but we were all on the Roces. We were very much. We knew where our bread was buttered. Skating at the Roces skate park.
Oh man, just having free access to the skate parks was huge for us because like we didn't have any money, and so just being able to skate for free at all of the different skate parks was amazing. But it's interesting you bring that up because I was actually thinking about that. Like, no wonder there was some kind of resentment because, we're based in Joburg and Mel and Brent are here and only sponsoring the Joburg guys. I mean, we were the best, to be honest. But at the time. But I'd imagine it probably rubbed the wrong way to be like, why is it only those guys in Joburg getting sponsored? But shout out to all the Cape Town crew. You dudes rule. You overtook the scene a bit later on, and we all ended up on Razors and USD and, Rems. A couple of dudes had Rems, which were cool. Oh, John, you rocked some at some point, right? Like those were awesome skates.
Yeah, I never skated Rems.
We're jumping around, but that's when I started bringing in from Sunshine Distribution. It was Razors, Rems, Ground Control. It was all those brands, 4x4 wheels, One Magazine. Used to bring in DVDs.
Sick.
But yeah, that's how that's filtered into Joburg eventually. And obviously Team Roces was also over by that time.
Yeah, and I think you, in a way, were keeping that Joburg scene alive, John. Like Mel and Brent had kind of stepped out of it. I'd just come back from overseas and quite a lot changed in those 2 years when I was in the UK. Like when I left, everyone was on the same trajectory we'd been on for the years before that. But by the time I came back, it was like the skate park was gone. That was the huge thing that like hit me when I came back from London was Kyalami Skate Park no longer exists. That was huge. That was like, the end of an era.
Yeah. That was honestly depressing. Like I remember being properly bleak about the leash not being there anymore.
Yeah. The first thing I did was go there and try appeal to Larry and those people. They didn't want to hear about it. And then when I moved in with John, I started trying to open a negotiation with the people who had that it was very Kyalami-ish, that skate park in Edenville. It was also, there was like a river you could walk to like 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
It was quite an oasis, like a nice place to hang out, and trying to see if we could build a proper skate park there. That never panned out. They wanted me to pay all this money and like finance it myself, and I was like 21 years old. So in the end, we just all started skating Monte Casino all the time.
And streets. We were filming at that time, pushing a lot of street skating. And I think because I had that spot and a lot of guys lived there over the years, it was a good meeting point for everyone close to town. Yeah, it was a good few years there. But that's jumping ahead a bit.
It is.
Where are we supposed to be in the timeline? Lead us, Byron, lead us.
It's freestyle, baby. It's always freestyle. Yeah, big shout out to Matt and his parents, and also to Hugo and whoever else has sent us photos. We really appreciate it. And we're going to jump into some old pictures over here. This very first one has got Matt doing a topsoul at Boogaloo's. What skates are those, Matt?
That's my first pair of Majestics. Yeah, I loved Boogaloo's, hey.
That was a nice box.
Yeah, dude, everything, like Boogaloo's was really an underrated park, but I think we outgrew it because it was primarily a skateboarder-built park. When I was young, I loved it, but then I think also the ramps at Kyalami got bigger and bigger and bigger over the years. And I think as the Kyalami ramps got bigger, Boogaloo started seeming like more of a place that wasn't exactly designed for us. But that mini ramp, whoa, bro, I learned so much on that mini ramp. And also just watching Herman skate. This is Herman's park. You got to remember, Herman kind of owned this park in a lot of ways. And just to like watch Herman arrive at Boogaloo's and rip it up, man, that was super inspiring for me. Yeah, so very fun. A lot of good memories at Boogaloo's. East Rand Mall.
Absolutely, and yeah, as you say, it was a really rad park when we were younger, but it was also quite a lot further away for us. Like it was a good 40-minute drive at least to get there. And I remember us even taking my old Beetle there one day. I think it was you and me and Gaz, but like the clutch was completely fucked in my Beetle, and we drove on the highway at like 40 k's an hour to get to Boogaloo's and go skate. We still drove that car there and back in no condition to drive.
Yeah, the missions we did. And remember Sidewalk Surfer across the road? That was such an epic space. I love
that mini ramp. Wow.
Yeah.
What about that?
That was the only place to skate in the rain in those days.
Exactly. I was about to say, as soon as it started raining at Boogaloo's, we'd go across the road to Sidewalk Surfer, which had that sick wooden mini ramp inside the store. And so we could still have a skate session even though it was raining. Man, that's so funny. Just thinking about the rain, I remember obviously being school kids, we would look forward to Saturday to be skating so much. And like, if it got to Saturday morning and it was raining, we were just like apoplectic, basically. Just like, this is fucking bullshit. It's been sunny all week and now it's raining on my skating day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a sick one. Nice to see the mini ramp from this angle as well. You could get a feel for the little speed roller and the width of it, and yeah, that was a fun time. I'm gonna jump forward. We got two pictures here of James Gladwin, who Matt had shared with us. And he was skating a lot with him at the time. Shout out James Gladwin over in the UK.
James.
Much love, brother.
You can see one of the most famous skate spots here, the round curb.
I'm surprised it hasn't come up sooner, but I'm stoked we got a photo of someone.
Is this the first time the round curb has appeared in the podcast?
Been discussed, first time, yeah.
I think we may have mentioned it before, but certainly the first picture, yeah.
And the spot on the left is also Santon. So I kind of lived not too far from Santon, so every now and then just get the folks to drop us off in Santon. This doesn't exist anymore on the left. I mean, I don't even know It was like a kilometer away from Santon City. But yeah, James and I skated a lot in this area, man. This was our first like baby street skating, you know. It wasn't handrails and it wasn't like big stuff, but this was definitely where we cut our teeth learning the difference between a skate park and curbs that you had to wax. And also when you fall skating street, you tend to fall a lot harder. So
that's for sure.
This is where we became men.
Rocking the Majestic 12s. It's always cool to see those. And cool to see the new incarnation of them as well.
Oh yeah.
Up next, we got some really old photos of the Kyalami skate park where you can still see the tennis court surfacing, and on the left, the weird little rail contraptions going on there. So many dudes on the tiniest little quarter pipe.
I was going to say, look how busy it is, man.
Yeah.
This is when rollerblading was really like the fastest growing sport in the world. I think this was 96, eh?
It must be 96 or 97 latest.
Right. Yeah.
Do you guys remember Herman's pants that he used to make? Insanity pants. That's what I was wearing with the stripe.
Yeah.
Is
like an actual triangle.
Because Senate had the ultra wides with that stripe as well. So must have.
Oh, really? I don't know about the Senates, but I remember Herman just used to put a stripe on like mad baggy jeans, and a lot of people.
This might have been before the ultra wides.
I mean, I think Herman and Toby were inspirations for everyone. Like, I remember trying to sew my own shit as well. I made like a couple of wallets and pants out of materials, and I mean, we're just also eager to like have skating gear or have some baggier pants and fit those massive knee pads underneath. And Boys of London jeans, those were the shit. Like massive,
that was me.
Massive.
I don't know if there's pictures. I don't know if there's pictures, but I had a pair of brown Boys of London that was my uniform for like 5 years.
I remember those.
Until they literally turned to dust, I wore those brown Boys of London. I had one Senate cap, which said Angry Youth on the back. It was like baby blue. I wore that thing backwards for years and years. That was like my first swaggy, steezy. So when I got my little identity as a skater, once the memory of the rollerballs was firmly out of mind.
Never forget.
Yeah, it's funny how all of these things are, you know, like how skating is linked to what you wear and, you know, your identity. And that's what I was talking about earlier. You know, like you really found your identity at the skate park through all of these different things, where you fit in with the different crews, who's coming from what side of the city and what you're wearing, you know, like all of these things are so interesting for me in retrospect, you know, like this is the makings of like everyone's early teens when we were so susceptible, so sensitive to like, oh, he's got that and he's wearing that and what are people listening to? We'll get to the music now. Yeah, but like, hey, Craig Uriah, can I please listen to your Walkman for like 10 minutes to get psyched up?
Or Discman.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And then they'll start skipping. Some of them were such garbage. But can you imagine? Yeah, we had the old CD cases where you'd be flipping through, got all these mad CDs, Method Man, Ghostface Killer, all that shit. Killer Priest, when that came out, that was a big one.
Oh,
Heavy Mental.
Big one.
Who's the person that's been circled there in the photo, like pulling up their pants?
I had to ask that too.
They've been eliminated. Don't worry about it.
Okay. It's been selected for something.
That's so weird. I only noticed.
We don't like you.
Well, these are my photos, so either I did that or my parents did that. They're like, stay away from this boy.
Yeah.
From
it's
a
hard to make
distance,
out of it.
I think it's Nick Buchanan. That's my guess.
I can't tell.
I disagree, but I can't tell what it is. We're going to jump into the next one. Yo, look at you got to be 12 years old, yeah, Matt. This was 97. Matt, John Bergeron, Ben French, Daniel Buchanan. Shout out to the dudes.
So this was the competition where I kind of like broke out, where I went from intermediate to skating advanced. I think that's Dan Buchanan in the shirt, the green shirt, all the way on the left.
And Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Dude,
John Bergeron came with Arlo to this competition, I believe. And I qualified like quite far ahead of the pack in intermediate, and Arlo was like, no, dude, you got to skate with the big boys now. You got to go to advanced. And I think the day after this photo was taken, or even it might have even been this day, my thumb got, you remember when they used to throw like wheels and stickers into the crowd? We were all scurrying trying to get stuff that they were throwing out, and my thumb, somehow my nail on my thumb got totally ripped out in the crowd scurrying for stickers or prizes. And then I skated the rest of this competition with a big steel bendy thing over my thumb. And
I remember.
It was quite a mission, but yeah, I think I might have even, I came like 5th or 6th in advanced, coming up from intermediate. So for me, I was sick. Like, this is amazing.
That's huge.
Dude, you're a child here. Like, I don't know. When I saw this photo the first time, like I have a memory of Bergeron coming, and I kind of remember what age we were. We were probably about maybe 16. What do you guys say right about?
16 or 17.
And seeing you, I realized, whoa, Matt was probably a child with us there.
12,
so well done.
Pre-puberty.
Yeah. I mean, but dude.
And we were talking about like how small the industry was, and you couldn't really get gear, and a lot of us made our own stuff. That's a Scribe t-shirt that I'm wearing, but I did a heat transfer at like a Postnet or something. So I found, I think they scanned that Scribe logo out of a Daily Bread magazine, and I was like, can you get this thing from this magazine onto a shirt? And they were like, yes, we can. For 10 Rand, we can do that. Just bring your own shirt.
That is sick. That's so cool. And this is from the same competition where Cliff beat out Bergeron in the advanced comp, and Craig Uriah.
Do you guys remember how hectic John Bergeron was?
Yeah. No, machine.
They used to call him computer robot or something.
Yeah. Arlo created that whole company based on this guy.
Yeah.
And
he was an absolute killer.
Like
we haven't seen someone skate with such
like that.
Power, speed,
like man strength.
Yeah.
And now when I look at this, that ODB track.
Now when I look at this, he looks like a kid too. That's what's crazy. Like,
yeah, true. Yeah.
He was probably only 19.
Look how much stauncher he is compared to Cliff and Uriah.
Yeah. He had a sick style, and it was.
I remember him taking off his shirt after one of his runs, and then still jumping up and doing a spinning kick onto like a tree branch or something. I was like, whoa, this dude is. Don't mess with John Bergeron.
He could skateboard as well.
Still beat him, guys. Just remember that.
He was really good at skateboarding.
Yeah, he could air the big fun box on a skateboard, grind the grind box. He was just as not just as good, but very
pretty damn good
skateboarder. Yeah. A memory with Bergeron that I have. I think we were wearing. Well, I had one of the first Roll One shirts. It was just a bit of embroidery on the back, and it was yellow. And we were down by the river with Bergeron, which was quite a big deal, going down to the river to have a little 420 break. And just afterwards, a wasp flew up the shirt thinking I'm a giant sunflower or something. Stung the shit out of my back like multiple times. And obviously fresh off the blunts, it was just... And trying to be cool with John Bergeron, yes. I ripped my shirt off. I'm surprised I didn't jump in the river. But yeah, I distinctly remember that.
The Gen Zs would call that a trauma, my friend. That's a trauma you went through.
That's so rough. There were some nasty wasps down there at Kalami. I think I caught one on the ear. It sat on my ear and fucking stung the shit out of it. It was not a pleasant time. So I feel
Kalami was in the wild, boys.
Yeah, it was pretty undeveloped at that time.
That's a cool picture.
Yeah, here we've got the legend
Arlo
Arlo
signing that
Eisenberg.
shirt. There's B in the background.
And I mean, years later, your son being named Arlo, and looking at this, it's just what a full circle sort of moment. Tell us about that, Matt.
Well, my dad, there was 1 or 2 pictures of me and Arlo, or like hanging out, doing stuff on this trip. And my dad had these pictures up in his pharmacy for years. And I think for some reason, Arlo was just like a really approachable guy, nice guy. He pushed me into skating advanced. He was very giving with like advice, and he was just cool, man. Like, like my mom chatted to him, and the next time he came, he's like, "How's your mom?" I was like, "You remember my mom's name?" Like, no way. Like, Arlo Eisenberg knows who I am. He was just like, it was amazing. What a down-to-earth guy. And in these days, he still ripped it. Like, he was definitely a lot older than us, but he still skated super good in these days. And even when he came back to Cape Town 2 or 3 years later, big impact on my life. I did name my son Arlo because, I feel a bit disconnected from these years. I think all of us feel a little bit like this was so long ago, like we're not even the same people anymore, but I wanted to try and keep that connection to that part of my life. And, I want my son to grow up and say, well, why do I have this name? Then I can tell these stories again, and hopefully he can watch this podcast and have a laugh, and realize he's part of a lineage and part of something that was a big deal for me in those days.
To totally, like, firstly, Arlo is such a cool name, but besides that, he was such a huge inspiration for us. I mean, like, being this age and watching the Hoax, Mad Beef, Hoax 2, like all of that stuff, just like it's incredibly inspiring for all of us. And we used to run those VHS tapes, rewind the tape, play it again, like get hyped up for the skate session, and try and be stylish like Arlo. Try and make it look cool. It's not just about what you're doing; it's how you do it as well. So
that was the big difference for me from like '96 when when I first came to the park. For me, I just came to the park right after Sun City '95. I missed '95, but I could see everyone was like very much still buzzing with what happened in '95 at Sun City. And that kind of showed you who the top people were going to be. Like Toby won it. I think Ryan Campbell did really well in that competition. On street, I think Herman won or did well in the vert in '95. So when I arrived at the skate park in '96, these guys were like minor celebrities. It was like, whoa, these are the guys who killed it in Sun City. So you got to like treat them with respect at the park. And just a very interesting time, man. But for me, what it was is like style. In '95, '96, '97, people were trying to do tricks, trying to learn how to do tricks. But that very quickly pivoted into, it's not what tricks you're doing, it's how you do them. And that's what I was saying earlier, the clothes you wear, the way you make it look like. Rollerblading was still finding its identity, and I think it had also kind of dropped off globally. It was no longer this like exploding global sport. So, and the rivalry with skateboarding was getting very strong at that time. So it was like, we weren't just trying to do stuff, we were trying to show how we did it and what made us cooler, or at least as cool as what was the thing of the time.
Yeah, I think worthy of being there. We wanted to show that we belong here as well, you know? And I think we would go to extreme lengths to prove that.
Oh, yes, very, very.
And yeah, I think, initially, as you said, it was about the style, but also like the clothing and the music and everything. We were trying to be separated from the spandex clad sort of like prancing around recreational rollerblading. Yeah, exactly. And as you say, that did start to become a lot of animosity from the skateboarders, because I suppose in some way we were copying some of their styles of clothing and chains to your wallet, and just like those. But skateboarding just copped that from punk aesthetic as well. So it's like you don't own the looks of things, but I think it was, as Matt says, a time in rollerblading's history where the style of rollerblading was trying to become its own thing and noticed independently of other types of recreational blading and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we would see recreational skaters and be like,
yeah,
what an idiot, like that's so lame, and like you're really doing the same thing different.
Exactly.
But we were like, we wanted nothing to do with it. We were like, not us. That is not what we do.
And eventually, years later, it's like we're all on wheels and we're all so much, okay, maybe not the rec bladers, but like with the skateboarders and the BMXs, we're all on wheels, we're all at the same skate parks. Like, we're much more similar than you are different. So like the little civil wars between those cultures kind of died out, and we were all like doing the same shows and getting paid for the same stuff, and drinking and smoking and being at the same parties. Like, we were always at the same parties with the skateboarding guys. Like, shout out to Brendan, Grant Lewis, Neil Hughes, rest in peace. Like, those homies, we used to be out partying with them in Joburg in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So,
and I'll never forget when we would go, the first few times we went street skating in town, and then you would see like there's a huge gang of BMXers at one spot, a huge gang of skateboarders at another spot. And no one wanted to get too close, but there was like an unspoken respect. Like, they would move on and we would go to the next spot, and it was kind of like it would just travel around.
Yeah, exactly. We literally skated and rode all the same spots. So
I think they got surprised when they started to see us popping up at those spots, because they'd been hitting those spots for a couple of years already before we did. And then they were like, okay, these guys are here. They also kill it. Like, they're doing stuff. And I think what was interesting is we would come with a big crew, like 4 or 5 cars full of guys. There definitely wasn't room for them to try push us out of a spot or intimidate us. We were like, boom.
We're here now.
This is the beginning of pack weight. This is when we would arrive with the pack. We had the weight behind us. We were like, you want to do what? Can you move out the way? Good push. Come on, boy.
That's so funny, because it was 5 cars worth of guys, but we were squashed into 2 cars.
The
doors open and you just see people coming out, and you like wonder when's it ever going to end.
How did they get 13 guys into that 2-door car?
Yeah, so this picture, Matt's getting interviewed by what must have been, I don't know, YoTV or SABC, and in the background we see Alon with that afro. Matt was talking about the eyebrow ring. Shout out Alon. And there's Herman on the left, Ryan Campbell, and I think that's Graham D on the back right. And is that Craig Schmedel with the bald head?
He's got the bald head, I don't know. Look, it could be Schmedel.
Cliff, and then my little blonde hair sticking out there at the back as well.
This was a big time for bleach.
High schools were not happy about it.
Wow.
This is a sick picture.
Shady.
Matt's wearing that medal and that shirt that he got signed by Arlo, and the guy with the glasses, he's just a sound guy. He's like, who is this kid?
Yeah, no one really cared. They were just like, you're the youngest one. Let's go speak to the youngest one. Like, how are you doing with all these old children, young child? Alon's just looking at me like, this kid's already got a big head, man. He's like, you're not where I am, dude.
Lon can grow a full beard already at this stage. You can see the sideburns.
Yeah, I love this pic, man. Great picture.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And here we got Matt transferring between the
mid-flight.
Mid-flight, the next iteration of Kyalami. As Frank says, the speed ramp and the other mini, getting some nice, decent air out of there. And that's what we were talking about. Matt always did really well at competitions because he was smooth and fast and got some amplitude going.
Creative lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of that was influenced by watching John Berger on that first. Is this might be the competition after what we were just looking at?
I think so.
Could be. Yeah, does look later.
I think maybe. Or might just be the next day, outfit change. But when you saw John Berger on Skate Around the Park, it definitely felt like, oh, that's how it's supposed to be done. You know, you're supposed to be hitting big air. You're supposed to be hitting like 20 tricks in your run and just like dominating with a lot of energy. Yeah, charging, man. So yeah, I was trying to be a mini John Bergeron.
Yeah. So yeah, I think if this was 98, is this the competition when you would have got sponsored by Roces for the first time?
Yeah.
I think that sounds about right. Did you place third, or I mean, you did very well in this comp from what I remember.
Yeah, I think this is the first time I got a medal in advanced. I think I came third. I remember, like, I can actually, not exactly, but I can still remember this, like planning this run. So my thing, because I felt like I wasn't as good as everyone else, I thought that like if I planned a better run and I didn't fall, then I had a better chance of doing well in the competition. So I really put a lot of effort into planning my runs and having a good line. And I remember I just learned how to do a kind grind on the blue rail, the rail coming off the fun box. And in this competition run, there was this part where I transferred into that little blue mini ramp, which was new. I think this was also cool about Kyalami. Brent would always like get the park looking its best and have some new ramps just before a competition. You know, so these comp days were exciting to bring everyone together, but you're also kind of getting the best version of the park that you'd had. So in this run, I did a kind grind as well, which, scary times. I remember being like, if I can just land every trick in this run, I'm going to get a medal.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
And then that got you on Team Roces, I believe. I remember it being after this comp and signed up, and the youngest, newest edition.
In retrospect, I think they just needed a really young kid on the team so that all the other lighties were like, oh, we can also be there. You know, it's just good marketing for them.
Shout out Mel and Brent. We love you guys.
Shame. I mean, maybe there was also an element of like they sponsored our whole group of friends. If you had to leave someone out, not just with you because you deserved it, but like myself, let's say. And I remember the only you had to skate comps, and I didn't like to skate comps. So it was like, we'll put you on Team Roces, but you have to skate comps.
Was I on Team Roces before you, John?
I think I got on Garrett and I got on the following year. I think we got on at the same time, and I think I was in mid-trick.
Was it you?
So that
and
was
me,
99.
Frankie? I came on at the same time as someone else.
So before me, I think you were before.
It might have been Frank.
I think I got onto Team Roces the year before.
Okay.
In 97, when we went to Germany that year.
Oh, yeah. I remember being so jealous of you guys going to Germany, hey? Yo. I was like, one day, baby, I'm going to travel the world for skating.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And then you went with Cliff, hey, Frank?
Yeah, Herman, Cliff, myself, and Schmidl, I think, went.
And Garrett, no?
Oh, and no, Garrett went the following year to Switzerland with me. But I think Mark Highland was there as well in Germany. because me and him got lost from the group and slept on the street one night.
I heard these. Yeah, you guys came back as rock stars, and then you had all these stories that just made me think like, wow, I really want to do that. I really want to.
I got a big injury that year on my leg. Cut my whole shin bone open. It was so bad.
Ooh.
Yeah, the injuries were coming thick and fast.
And I remember that because you and Ryan Campbell also, he hit his shin open on the side of the fun box and like mad stitches. Like he's still got a scar to this day, just huge shin open. Like
that was the scariest, biggest scar I'd ever seen. It was like a huge V on half of his leg.
Yeah,
it was wild.
On my leg. Yeah,
I think that's why Ryan kind of got less active in rollerblading after that. I think that injury kind of got him up here, and then he transitioned into skateboarding not too far after that.
Yeah, I think he also did just think skateboarding was cooler, but I don't disagree that hit to the shin was pretty damn serious. So if I recall correctly, he was like trying to do a 720 or a 900 or something on the fun box at the time, and like that was way before anyone was doing that. So
dude, if Ryan kept skating, he definitely was going to be whatever he chose to do. He was going to be one of the best.
Dude was always so good at everything he did. It was rollerblading, skateboarding, kung fu. Like he started kung fu, and that's what got us into it, Matt? And,
he was definitely an inspiration into kung fu. And I remember you and him started playing guitar at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
All of us starting to draw graffiti at the same time, and Ryan was just like naturally talented at everything.
He was really, really good at everything. And shout out Campbell. He studied to be a doctor for fucking years and years and years after school, and he's doing that now over in Canada with his wife and 2 boys. His boys are already like 13 and 10, I think. So it's
wow.
Yeah, shout out Campbell, miss you, dude.
Boy, Ryan.
This picture is super interesting. I mean, Matt, that is big air for a 13-year-old. Like that is a huge that grab 360.
Yeah, do you guys remember when that grab, like it didn't exist, and then it was like it was the only thing to do?
Hey, what grab was that?
And then it was every.
It was that grab. But
cross grabs started to come in as well.
Exactly. Oh yeah, there was like a cross that grab.
Parallel grab.
Yes. Yeah.
That's funny.
Demonstrate.
Dude, please do. Actually, demonstrate the difference between a mute and a that grab. Because
no, I can't. My headphones are not even that long.
I thought you would say your hips weren't warm enough.
Sorry, did you hear the part of this podcast where we spoke about half-hour warm-ups?
It was in the pre-roll. But what really placed this picture for me, and I only noticed it just now, is the Spawn movie adverts in the background. Like rollerblading was so popular, they somehow managed to get sponsors from all of these shops and Dickies and Capri-Sun and the fucking Spawn movie from New Metro or Stick Kinnick or whoever was playing that. And like that distinctly puts it at 98 for me. Is that your dad's green Jetta in the background, Matt?
That's my dad's green Jetta, which later became my first car. And I think that car on the right, I have a feeling it was Murray's dad's car. I don't know if you remember, he used to come pick us up from Santon City in that white BM.
Such a sick beamer.
Yeah, no, I love this picture, man.
That is huge air, honestly. Like that's bigger than I ever went on a fun box. It's so sick.
That is why you got on Team Roces, bro, because you were skating really well, bro. Like, look at that. I mean, that is.
It feels good just to look at this picture, just to like think about how that felt at that time. Like, hey, man, that was as good as it got. Floating up there.
What a feeling.
That's why we're all here, boys. That's why we're here.
That's the thing of beauty, and. I think it's similar, or maybe a year before, but I think those white Texas Cliff absolutely tweaking that 360 Kung Lao. Liu Kang? Some kind of Mortal Kombat reference.
Yeah, Kang, I think.
Absolute styles. Shout out Cliff. Whoever's watching, if you haven't watched episode 3 with Cliff, check it out. The Majestic Filly. It was a good one, and shout out Cliff. What a picture!
That's ninja.
So thanks to your mom and dad or whoever took this picture. It really turned out great.
Yeah, I think my dad was shooting a lot of these. I remember he had a Nikon with quite a big lens. It's funny, like you don't think about the pictures at the time. You're just a kid trying so hard to skate and not hurt yourself and be cool. And behind the scenes, a lot of our parents were just like doing little things that parents do. And now, however many years later, how long has it been? Like 25 years for me, more, 27 years.
Jeez.
It's really amazing that these pictures exist, man. So I'm so happy we found these.
That's so cool, yeah. Well. Shout out to your parents.
Check the way, do you guys remember the way we used to like make sure you had to tuck the pants onto the back of the Majestics?
So they didn't go under wheels.
Yeah, you had to like tuck and clip. It mustn't go too much, but it has to be there. Like, I don't know, the style was such a integral part already. And Cliff was definitely one of the style icons of the day.
For sure. I remember if you wore something that maybe it felt good when you first put it on, but then you leave the house and you're out skating and you're not feeling good in it, your whole day skating is ruined. Like you just can't get there. It's like, I'm circling it, but I'm not in it, you know?
I know exactly what you mean. I'll never forget one of the street comps in Cape Town. I just had the wrong pants on, man. Nothing worked that day. It was just not like so close, but and so to an outsider looking in, they were like, "Dude, you look cool. Like you look like you always look." And you're like, "No, something feels different. 2% off here."
That's so funny. Like you'd have some old shirt that had shrunk in the wash. It was just too short in the back. It's just like hating this old shirt. Which is why we eventually made the Roll One shirts that went on for days, longer than a satellite dish.
Yeah, those are white Majestics. Cliff bought them in Germany, and I also bought a pair there of white Majestics because they were released there, but not that we hadn't had them in South Africa yet. So
definitely they were.
He definitely looks like he was already sponsored by Senate because he's got the Senate ultra wides and a Senate shirt that I don't think Boogaloo's even got those Senate shirts by that time. The toothpaste logo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
Man, those white Majestics were like so shiny and fresh when they were new, but you can see as soon as they took some damage, so they're just going brown now.
It looks cool though. I dig that actually. Scuffed up.
If I got another pair of skates, I would go for white. I think I did some of my best work. My favorite skates I ever had, the Grail, don't know if we ever said it right.
The white ones.
White Grails around the time of the Rand show, like the first Rand shows, or maybe the second Rand show. That was my favorite, man. That's the skate that I feel like I did my best work in.
Nice.
Oh, they were like this cream color. Actually, not white. They were like this cream color, weren't they?
Yeah.
Or were they white?
I feel like they
the Grail. I don't know. I actually.
The Grail were white. The Grail were white. The Majestics were kind of creamy, weren't they?
The Fifth Elements were cream. And the red ones and the green ones.
Oh, that's right. I mean, speaking of the Fifth Elements, I think those are the skates you guys have got here. We got Cliff
I think
and Frankie.
Frankie's wearing them on the right.
Yeah.
You guys sharing a helmet. I remember you used to do that. Like, dude, I don't have a helmet. Let me use yours for the run.
Drenched in someone else's sweat.
I also never really had my own.
Nothing better than putting on someone else's drenched, hot, sweaty helmet. Love it.
Oh, disgusting.
I like you just wear the helmet for that 1 minute. The entire rest of the time, you're.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think these must have both been 540s with the
looks that
safety grabs.
Jeez, I never thought I'd be higher than Clifford.
Yeah, probably just the timing of he's already coming down there.
No, I'm just joking. I'm sure he was coming down already.
Oh, this is amazing. Remember
Look,
that
we all
little
took turns being the highest. So
Exactly. Spend some time there down.
It's not a competition, guys.
No, this was a competition, John.
Yes. Sorry. I forget.
If we're wearing helmets, you know it was a competition. There is no way to get us into a helmet any other time.
Jumping a step
Yes,
backwards.
the white Majestics.
There we go, the white
Belfort
Majestics. Shout out Graham Jackson with the Talk Soul. And
The Jackal.
Matt, Nick, Craig Uriah, and someone else I don't recognize. But you can see how young Matt is, how small he was there.
That's not
So-
Grant Dietrichs.
And I think Arlo came with. We took them street skating, and this is one of the
That's what I
spots
was
we
just
took
about
them
to
to.
say.
Yeah.
This was my first handrail I ever did.
Wow.
Oh, yes.
It was in this moment.
On this day.
I was like, on this day, I was like, Arlo is here, John Bergeron is here, everyone's here. I was like, you are doing this rail. Like, this was my first street rail.
Not
That's
an
so
easy one.
sick. Yeah, this was pretty burly rail, yeah.
Did you soul grind it? Or what was your...
I did a soul grind. I landed the soul grind, then I tried to get clever and do some other stuff, fell hard, and I think we still had the finals the next day that we had to skate. And I was like, I'm out. I'm just going to try and be okay for the finals the next day. Oh, this is when torque soles had kind of just become a thing.
Yeah.
You can see Graham pushing for that torque in the front foot.
Just easy.
Nice.
Maybe even before they were called talks. Like I remember after you guys came back from Germany, it was Farfanugans were the new things.
Yeah.
Like we were all trying to do the Farfs. And then so we were doing like Farf soles. I think we were calling them like, I don't know.
Yeah, the name hadn't even like, it wasn't even a legit name yet. It only became torque sole later when people got irritated with having to say farf sole. Like that doesn't roll off the tongue. That's not a good name.
What does that even mean? Shout out.
My boy.
Look
that
at
grin.
that face of joy
Yeah.
on that new motorbike. So that on the left is Gaza at 16 years old. Just got his birthday present from his pop. Shout out Glenn Cartwright. There he is on the motorbike. And my funny story from this night. Were you there with us, Matt?
I'm not sure what happened this night.
Maybe. So we take the motorbike onto the tennis court. So Gaz's dad has a tennis court. And he's like, cool, B, you want to try it? Like, go a little bit forward and fall over. Like, literally drop his brand new bike on its side on the tennis court.
Is that like a 125 or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 125 Yamaha. And then it's a big bike for a kid.
Big bike for a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
I remember Gaz driving me from this house in Fairlands to Kyalami Skate Park. I only went with him once on the highway. Dude, I was so scared, my lord. And Gaz could ride it, man. He was like a pro. He was like, we're going to go fast now. You're going to hold on tight. You're going to turn together. He gave me a little pep talk and he was like, don't freak out. And I was freaking out the whole way from his house. I think by the time I got to Kyalami Skate Park, I had no adrenaline left for the actual skate session. I was just like, we made it. We're alive. The whole time I was on the back, I was like, this is hectic.
I somehow don't think you're wearing a motorcycle helmet. Like maybe you're wearing a rollerblading helmet or...
Probably.
Yeah, which makes it 10 times scarier. Because
the wind's just hitting you in the face the whole way.
Yeah. No, I remember I also at one point got a ride on the back of his bike from Kyalami to my house in Bryanston. and wearing a little rollerblading helmet, and like it's much more scary to be on the back of a motorbike than to actually be riding it. But that's pretty wild times. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
This is hitting me right in the feels, boy.
Yeah, you can see that smile, and what a legend of a friend. The next pick, we got a back royale he was doing in the red. Are those the red Fifth Elements, I think?
Yeah. Actually, I remember that jersey better than anything. I swear the same helmet has been in almost every photo. This is the same helmet.
This is the comp helmet that everyone wore.
It is the magical blue helmet. There was only like 2 helmets, apparently, in the whole skate park we had to share. But I remember this was, at one point, a yellow... I think it was a Senate hoodie or like some other cool brand. And then I think Cliff chopped off the sleeves. And then this was one of those garments that got swapped and traded. Like at one point I had it, Gaz got it from Clifford. I remember Gaz actually trading it with Cliff for some other shirts. And look how good this guy looks, man. Look at that. Look at that style.
Styling. Yeah,
that's an awesome one.
Yeah, he had a unique style, eh?
Yeah, definitely. And this was a couple of years after that, I think, because I think now we're rocking the Kutais.
This is Kutai.
Skate session.
At, Crawford in Santon.
That's right. There's a Vega there as well. Crawford and Vega, the colleges, and big old parking lots, and Gaz's signature mistrial. Every time I go skate to this day, I'll have to do a mistrial, and just remember. And you can just barely make out Matt standing there on the left.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
So
I never liked this spot. It was my least favorite street spot. There was a good shuffle pad close to there. Something that we used to. This is around the time when we started to learn how to do spinning set slides. That was good. But no, these rails used to scare me. I took a couple of big falls here. Not one of my favorites.
It was awkward. It was like an awkward spot.
But we
I
never
think
got
I
kicked out.
skated it, but it looks pretty rad.
Yeah, our Gaz made it work. That's quite a big air, man.
Yeah. And there are a couple of videos somewhere of you and Graham Howard and Toby, as you say, spinning shuffles on that curb and shuffle pad, for lack of a better word. So this must have been 2000, around 2000, 2001 even. Because 2001, this is the picture we're discussing on another part of Gaz's 18th birthday. And
the night where we all became adults.
Everyone's trying to get a peek.
I wish we had the other photo. Like there is a photo that exists of exactly what everyone was looking at, which was Gaz stripped down to his boxers on the floor getting branded by Gigi the stripper.
No, not a real brand, a lipstick brand.
Oh yeah. Not flaying his flesh off his buttocks, but.
And this picture makes me laugh so much. Garrett's face on the left, and whoever's covering their mouth, and Morgan and John and Herman's reactions is Cam McBeth, Nicholas Bamu.
Is that Toby in between John and Morgan?
Yeah.
Look at Herman in the back there. Nick looks like he's about to devour a tasty treat. Nick looks like he's looking at a rack of ribs. Bamu, some of the skateboarders were there as well.
Yeah, good crew.
Yeah, a lot happened on this night.
This picture makes me laugh so much.
And that was at Gaz's parents' house with his parents.
It was at his dad's house. His dad had organized the sick 18th for him. During the day, we were at the German Beer Fest. I remember at the School Bazaar. drinking beers all day, and then we came back here, and Gaz's dad had rocked more beers for us, and this entertainment, and
this was the best party at the time. This was the best party I'd ever been to. This was the benchmark.
Oh, it was such a vibe, man. We laughed. This picture makes me fucking laugh. And the following morning, me and Gaz headed over to his mom's house for the celebrations with her. You can see a couple of coolers or something in the back there. But as you can see, there was some kind of blunt rotation in our drive. Yeah. So dudes were grilled, hungover and grilled. And
Byron, why did you edit out your eyes? Where did your eyes go, B?
I could not see a thing. Man, I wish I had that T-shirt today.
I think I have that shirt that Gaz is wearing in that picture.
No way.
It's now turned to the light gray of your Woo Wear shirt. That's how many times it got washed. Said it was good quality. You could wear these shirts to the point where the print would actually like separate itself from the shirt. And I think you made a bookmark where you have like just the center print on a bookmark, but the shirt had pretty much disintegrated. Yeah, man. Yeah. We were hard on clothing in these days.
Totally. We didn't have much, and we wore it all the time.
Yeah, clothes would get worked. You'd fall in them, you'd sleep in them, you'd put them at the skate park for like a 12-hour session in the sun, sweat. Like, it's amazing that some of these clothing garments are still around.
Yeah, 100%. And all getting swapped around between the gents on the session. So yeah, after it must have been a couple of months, 6 months later, when Gaza passed, and this was the following weekend. Or just a couple of days after, I think, after the funeral, Matt and I had gone to buy a crate of spray paint from, what was that place in Boxburg?
Spray Flow.
Yeah, Spray On was expensive, but if you drove to the heart of Boxburg, you could get Spray Flow for like half the price.
Yeah.
I remember.
So we got this crate of paint, shout out home, and yeah, we were all together painting this memorial for Gaz.
Painting your old house, B.
Yeah, and we had already moved out. I think I told this story previously, but we'd already moved out, and we went here to paint this anyway because, I mean, we're naughty kids and believed we could get away with it. And like I said in the previous story, my mom had come to visit to like check us out while we were painting and stuff, and that's when the cops arrived to kick us out. Well, obviously to be like, what is going on here? And my mom was like, no, it's my house. Like I hired them to paint my wall. It's for their friend. And so like the serendipity of that happening at the exact right time, like it was a blessing because we got to finish up the wall. And then the next picture is quite cool because it shows a lot more of what we did. JT was there. Shout out Justin King. He painted one of these.
Yeah. That GRC in the Wu-Tang logo is so sick.
Well, that's the tattoo that Byron designed for Gaz. That I think Gaz got it.
Gaz got it tattooed.
Going to Randburg Waterfront with Gaz to get that GRC Wu-Tang put on his arm. I was already dating Lenore. I think Lenore drove us there, and
yes.
I was so proud of Gaz. He took that, hey? I was like, dude, you got
it right here on the arm.
You just got tatted up and you took it like a man.
So sick. I mean, definitely the first one out of a bunch of us, maybe except Jackson, to get a tattoo.
Oh yeah, but Jackson had the worst tattoo. His first tattoo. It was like that weird little sun thing on the back. Like
a tramp stamp.
No, I wasn't going to say the word. I wasn't going to, not to say it was bad, but it was just like, let's just say Gaz was the first one of our friends who got like a serious tattoo.
I feel like Herman had one as well, but I'm not sure.
Probably. Probably.
But Storm was already covered by this stage. She had the most tattoos of anyone that I knew.
Totally. Yo, shout out Storm. That's wild.
Drizzle.
Totally forgot about that.
Oh, where?
So yeah, that's quite a sick one, man. What a memory. Because I mean, this wall obviously no longer exists, and this whole property got renovated into like office buildings and shops and weird shit.
It's like a Hewlett-Packard office block now.
But man, I mean, I remember because we had to sell this house for financial reasons, and we moved. And like at the time, I was like, man, in the future, I would have loved to like buy back this house and go move there. It was such a sick property, and like 2 acres of garden and swimming pool, and just like it's probably worth too much. So, like, there's no way.
You and Gaz both learned how to drive a car in the garden of this house.
That's exactly right. I'd forgotten about that. That same Beetle we were talking about.
Gaz couldn't drive a car, but he could drive a motorbike. And you were like, no, dude, it's the same. The clutch is just here. And the fact that you could actually drive a car pretty fast, like a little course around this garden, it was insane, man. That was crazy stuff.
I had forgotten about that because not only would we drive it, we would then start doing handbrake turns.
You guys used to.
Donuts.
I was so much younger than you that no one even offered me. They weren't like, do you want to drive next? They were like, he's still a child.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I was 18, you would have been 15, I think. Yeah. So that's just too young. I say that having been the one who started driving at 16.
You were the guy who took us to the park every Saturday, B.
Yeah, exactly. I remember the Beetle rocking it, and then there was some Saturday nights where we would go illegally, maybe unknown, to drive out in the middle of the night to Santon, and because we couldn't drink there, we would then race to the 7-Eleven to buy cheap wine and take it home to drink.
I remember that so well. At Santon City, and it's like, it's 11:15. Let's hit the road. We can still get 2 bottles of crackling and go sit at your house and drink some of the world's worst wine ever made.
We would play coinage with it.
Ooh, no, amazing.
So now we're jumping ahead. It must be a year or two, I think, after that. And down in Cape Town for the Alex Grohl Cup, Matt's rocking some topside acid, a Unity.
Yeah, backside Unity. I remember I still am. If I was going to skate now, if I was going to do any grinds, Unities. I would just do Unities. That would be me. This rail is long, hey? Look how big this rail is, guys.
No, for sure.
A huge rail.
Yeah,
and the box on the other side, it's both massive.
Yeah, this is like when the Cape Town guys really started to step up and get super good. I'll never forget watching Earl on this rail, Earl Abrams. Shout out Earl. Do you remember there was a guy who came, I think he was Spanish or Portuguese?
Dude, I was going to mention him. Marco or something like that. He did a
fast slide.
Back talk that ledge as well, but standing up, leaning down, nothing.
Supercomputer robot. Hitting that supercomputer robot pose.
That dude was good. But I mean, that just shows you guys used to come from all over the world to the Alex Grohl. It became
there was a girl that
on
came
the international calendar.
Yeah, there was a girl that came to one of these comps and she broke a leg. And I think I connected with her in the UK. She was from the UK.
Nice.
And I didn't know that it was her, but she told me the story, and then the memory came back of her injured in the park, and they had to take her out. And
shame, man.
I think I know who you're talking about, Frank, because when I came to London, you introduced me to a lot of the people at the PlayStation Park in London.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of good skaters there, a lot of good girl skaters. Do you remember going on street sessions in London, Frank?
Yeah.
On those days when there would be like 50 skaters. That was also like really an interesting time.
Yeah,
I was just there a few weeks ago. There's no street in London anymore. Everything has steel knob, or it's outlawed.
Really? Crazy.
You're not going to skate anything.
And it's got cameras everywhere, mad surveillance. But this is, I think maybe the following year, but shout out to the crew here, Chris, Steve.
No,
Craig.
so this has actually jumped quite far. I was already back from London now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I remember this was like a weird day where we invited a couple of people after the comp to come and chill, and we didn't invite Tristan, but he arrived, and we were like, no, you can't come upstairs.
Oh no,
it was bad.
Villain origin story.
We were not nice people all the time.
True.
It takes two.
We were teenagers, man. I mean, actually, I might have been 20 here. Actually, I think I was just.
Yeah, I was gonna say we were probably mid-20s, but yeah, good
guys,
crew. I think we had just started sponsoring Chris van der Merwe and Roll One.
Oh yeah, Chris has got that Roll One
He's
shirt.
got the Roll One shirt on, and yeah, that was a sick hang. Neil van der Walt.
Neil van der Walt.
Hermie.
Shout out, Neil.
This was epic. This was great.
The Goons.
That's so funny. I knew it was you, Matt, and I still thought it was Steve Craig. That's my
Me
bad.
too, bro. At first, I thought it was Steve Craig. I don't know why. It's the expression.
The doppelgangers in the hat. Shout out, Chris. Oh, man. So I think this is London, right, Matt? As you were talking about.
Yeah.
This is when...
at Tesco. Oh, wasn't that at Tesco Rail? No.
I can't remember where, but I do remember it was a very difficult rail to get to the bottom of. You know those rails that are like that shiny chrome that actually just don't slide? Yeah, this is when I was still trying to get used to, after like whatever 10 years on Roces. This was my first pair, apart from the rollerballs. This is my first pair of non-Roces that I'd ever had, and it took me a long time to get used to these razors. These are still the razors I have now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Crazy.
The white is, yeah. You've had those a long time, eh?
Yeah.
It's time for
Unlike
a new
you guys, I have not done much skating in the last 10 years.
I can count it on one hand.
Yeah, two or three. That's it.
Sick top acid, rocking the UK summer.
Yeah, definitely must have been summer because I'm wearing shorts. That doesn't happen in the UK often.
I can see your Oscars from here.
Wait, you need a side profile.
Oh,
dude!
What is that? What is that?
See a little silhouette of a man.
When you see it from the side, then you know it's serious.
You also have them, don't you?
I've got one in one knee, not both like Matt, and that's so funny because I remember Matt, you and Herman making fun of each other about having aliens in your knees and toes.
Yeah. No, that was a good time.
But yeah, for those listening, it's Osgood-Schlatter's disease, where your knee gets a whole big old growth growing out of it, and happens often to teenagers who take a lot of stress and strain to their legs and their knee joints.
I still maintain
painful.
that I would be at least a centimeter taller if I didn't get. I feel like my knees, instead of growing up, they went sideways.
Might also be able to kneel properly if you didn't have them, man. Those things are so sore if you hit them on anything.
I kneel to no man.
Really sore.
This is why I kneel to no man.
No, but for real, can you go and sit on your knees now, or is it painful?
No,
not
It's
really.
too sore, dude. It's really sore. And if you bump it on a table or something, it's fucking agonizing.
On a thick carpet, yes, I can kneel. I do
on a
my
towel
best
floor.
kneeling on my children's play mats now.
And it made it difficult for Kung Fu, because there were some times when you finish something in Kung Fu and you would be like on your knees ready to jump up and whatever. And like I remember, Matt had to properly lean back to be able to do it. It was rough.
Take his weight off.
Yeah. And then this must have been the following couple of years when you were back from the UK, I think.
Yeah,
and,
I only started wearing those ridiculous hats like the one on the right.
Peaky fucking blinders, mate.
Peaky Blinders, like 20 years before Peaky Blinders.
No, wait.
Yeah, I picked up a penchant for the taxi driver hat when I was in the UK, and obviously just wearing wife beaters the whole time. Yeah, my style was interesting in these days. I was a grown-up skater now. Now I was a grown-up skater.
Yeah, and obviously I think we were sessioning thrashers more because Kailami was no longer around. And we would session the Monte Cassino skate park, but I think, that also didn't last all that long there. So nice true back Savannah. This box was sick to skate.
And that's Chris Engelbrecht in the K2 shirt.
That's right. Shout out Chris Engelbrecht. I think this was a comp there.
Yeah,
the one on the left is from a comp. I think I came second, and the Chris's were on either side of me.
Okay.
Sick one there. And
Thrashers had some cool comps as well.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, wow. This is when we went back to Brent's house for his 50th.
Yes.
I think so, yeah. It must have been 2012. Sorry, we're jumping around a bit. But some cool photos here. Yeah.
I think it's the first time we had all been together with Mel and Brent in many years already at that stage. So this was a very festive time. I enjoyed this day.
Yeah, that was awesome. As you say, it had been so long since we had seen Mel and Brent. I know it had for me. And it was so good to celebrate. It must have been his 50th, right?
It was his 50th, yeah.
Yeah.
And they got him that trumpet.
Saxophone.
Saxophone, close.
Yeah. Close enough. So yeah,
I think Brent even, I think he just started playing it, but he got really good at it.
Oh man, that's cool.
Sax.
Hopefully get to chat to him soon.
Yeah, we got to do that. And so back at Thrashers, one of the night sessions.
Mike's muted.
Now we start.
There we go.
That roll one green print with the black. I did like that one.
Ooh,
the white with the green
everyone
print.
is wearing roll one.
Yeah,
we're wearing roll one as much in this era as we all used to wear Senate back in the day.
Totally.
Yeah, well, that was a big part of it. The shirts were so comfortable, being a little bit longer, and nice cozy collar and nice thick material. Those shirts lasted really well. Like the couple that I've still got left, my wife wears them occasionally, and like they're still thick and really nice and holding their shape well. And it's like 20 years later almost for those shirts, which is pretty crazy.
When people who didn't rollerblade saw us wearing them, I remember getting quite a lot of passive-aggressive comments about, why are you wearing your nightie? A nice nightie.
Exactly. And you still had the medium, or you weren't wearing the large, were you?
These were fairly short. I mean, do you remember the first version? I'll never forget Nick Buchanan wearing those big red ones.
The red ones,
down to his
with
knees.
the satellite.
It looked
satellite-ish.
Yeah. Oh,
Dude, those were massive.
Yeah.
Eric was actually telling me he's still got his Roll One satellite logo shirt, which is one of the first we made.
Yeah.
But yeah, there'll be an episode on Roll One, I think. I think that's an episode on its own.
Definitely. Yeah. But yeah, the XLs were huge. Like I used to have to rock the XL, and it was down to the knees basically.
Yeah.
It's awesome for skating because like nobody wants the short shirt in the back.
Yeah, I think that's what you were talking about earlier, Byron, as well, is later on, I mean, this is all like kind of in a lot of ways the end of my skating career. Later on, we were so at one with the rest of the rolling sports, you know, the skateboarders, the BMXers. And, you know, that's what Roll One was always supposed to be for us, was something that all the rolling sports could wear, because we had so much in common, including Rolling One. You know, it was just like, it was such a great idea at the time, this idea of unity in the rolling sports and bringing everyone together. And we had, you know, we had Kung Fu that was a big thing for all of us, that, you know, regardless of what you did at the skate park, you would all see all the other guys at Kung Fu during the week. And the lifestyles were so similar. So I think Roll One was just such an important time in South African action sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna
Definitely brought a lot of people together in the end.
And we had a lot of support from guys outside of rollerblading. But I think rollerblading was our, we kind of prioritized the rollerblading.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was mostly us wearing it, but people, you know, people were,
but you had like
excited.
Stephen Dover, Brendan Lazar was wearing them. You know, all our affiliate crews and friends were definitely rocking it. It was cool.
And
shout out to
Gordy.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. At one stage, we were trying to give clothing to Rayco, DJ Rayco. We were like, this is going to be our next brand ambassador. Yeah, man.
No, we tried, bro.
We just needed to carry on for an extra 3 years. We never made it, but
we kind of stopped as social media was starting, which I find weird. We didn't predict that one too well.
That's pretty funny. We've still got a Roll One clothing group on Facebook somewhere, and it's got some stuff from that time, which is one of the
Sorry, I don't want to go too much into Roll One now, but the shoots that we did with Simon, right? Was his name Matt? I think you were quite good buddies.
I organized those shoots, man.
Yeah. Where are all those photos now?
I think they only exist on Facebook, dude. Yeah.
Really?
They are only on the internet.
Because I've got all our designs, and I've got all the like actual clothing stuff, but I don't have any of the shoots we did.
Yeah, we must definitely do a Roll One episode, get those shoots. And I don't know if you guys remember the advertising material we used, the stencils of the sausage dog, the light bulb.
Who's got the biggest sausage? That was brilliant. Dude.
Yeah. We've gone off topic. We're drifting. I love it.
To bring it back, another Thrashers night session.
Now that I'm looking at this night session, I didn't realize what sort of strange... Okay, so this is in the era of rollerblading where grabbing your skates was no longer cool. Clearly.
I think that
was all about freestyle, expression. That move is one step away from modern dance.
I don't know, almost like a turn down that you do on a bike, but you know what I mean?
A bit of a body whip.
Yeah. Freestyle Liu Kang body whip.
Sick.
It's a dope photo.
Yeah, well done. Whoever took these photos. Where did you find this, Byron?
Facebook, I think. Like, good question. I know Hugo and Sebastian had sent us a ton of the old Fishbrain photos, and that's actually making me think of, what was his name? Blaine. I think Blaine Wakeford. Shout out Blaine. But yeah, I think
whoever was shooting this had to have a big flash.
Yeah.
Someone had some decent gear for these photos.
Yeah, they turned out really great in the night. So that's pretty awesome. And speaking of Monte Casino,
sick.
We got a couple of shots from here. Matt's rocking the front faff, full torque.
Is that a sweat or no? Is that a sweat stance or is he?
It's a sweat, but I never did sweat stance. I'm telling you, this is like This is the only picture of a sweat stance you'll ever see me do. This must have been a game of Pop a Trick or something.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking.
To play a lot on that rail.
Yeah, I loved this rail, man. This rail, I learned so many tricks. I mean, Monte Casino was our spot after Kyalami Skate Park closed.
The Friday night
It's the
session.
only option almost, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what a time, man. I remember this so well.
Nice wall
I like
ride.
that front talk.
Sure.
I'm quite impressed that my knees could actually do that.
Yeah, that's stick style, bro. Both of those.
Yeah, dope.
Oh, I'm glad you found these, Byron. Thank you, man. You're making me look good out here.
I do my best.
Oh, that's actually also a Roll One vest, by the way. Remember when we made the vests with the tiny little...
That's right.
It was almost our toothpaste. We kind of had a toothpaste logo at one point. The green R and the white one.
Nick?
Yeah, I remember we were quite stoked. We were quite stoked because we had been struggling to make a logo for a long time. And then Nick did come up with that symbol for the R1. There it is. Booyah. White boys throwing up gang signs. Don't do that in the hood.
Trying not to be a cliche my whole life.
So yeah, Monty didn't last too long, and this must have been a party of definitely at John's house.
Yeah, I think this was my 28th birthday because we had the spit, Brian. I see Brendan in the back there handling the spit. But,
Brendan, descendant, the Bri Master.
Himself. Chula, shout out to Chula.
Shivas was doing hot laps in this photo, I remember.
Yeah, I miss her, man. Yes, it was a lucky time there in the Grove.
Yeah.
Wow, Alex Flacco still had the long Jesus hair.
Long hair. Kenneth, shout outs.
Shout out Kensington.
Hey. But yeah, the hot laps that Shivas used to do around your spot was so funny. And man, like initially, I really didn't like Shivas. I think, as you know, chowed through some of my hoodie or something, chowed through all of your mattresses. But yeah, that dog grew on me a lot. She was so sweet.
Oh, man, yeah. She was a part of everyone's lives at this house.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. Rest in peace, Shivas. Love you, girl. Hey.
Oh, man.
And,
one of the many pit bulls, good pit bulls we had in our crew in the years.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was her, then Champ shortly after, or around about the same time as her.
Alex had his dogs already, and then Champ came from those dogs. Yeah, they were all related. I'm pretty sure all these dogs were. I think we all used to get them from.
And then
our dodgy friends in Bears Valley.
Yeah, that's where Shivas came from. She was the runt of the litter that Keith actually took her on, but she became mine. And then Garrett had Charlie, obviously, who Shivas kind of raised a little bit as well. Yeah, and Maverick, obviously. But
yeah, this was fresh. I was fresh from London. I can see by the clothes I'm wearing. I just got back from London.
which puts it around
Great
2006 or 7, I think.
2006, yeah.
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 I think I came back the year after that from London.
Yeah, Frank, you stayed in London for a year illegally, if I remember. Not to put anything weird on the internet.
Allegedly, it was only 6 months.
We missed you. We missed you during that time.
Did they give you grief when you left, Frank?
I was so lucky, bro. They were checking everyone's passports, obviously, at this certain spot.
Checkpoint.
And I acted like I was a tourist, and I had my backpack, and I walked around just looking at everything. And someone was like, "Hey, you over there, you." And I was like, "Oh shit, I hope they don't see me." And then I just scurried off, and they left me because they were so busy with all the other people, and I didn't get checked. But a friend of mine got checked, and they stabbed his passport, and he, I think, is not allowed to go to London ever again. Or
Yeah, I
at
think it's like
least
10 years. It might be 10 years or something like that.
Yo.
or to the UK. He's not allowed to go to the UK for 10 years.
We were
That's
rebels.
crazy.
The rebellious streak was very strong in those days. Anti-authoritarian.
I have another friend
totally.
that actually just stayed there, and he's now a citizen.
Oh wow!
He never came back.
Married an English broad.
Yeah, but I think he could apply. I think once you've lived there for a certain amount of years, even if you don't have a passport or anything, you can apply for citizenship, and then he just did that and stayed on.
Amazing. Nice. Well, I think we're down to the last slide, which is not actually showing up right now. So
I didn't remove it just in case you were thinking that.
Why? Was it a picture of John doing something he shouldn't be doing?
Not at all. It was you and him lounging on
my dad's
tell the story.
boat for my 30th birthday. It was a picture of you and me, like, and I think I had a pink drink and wearing also a Roll One basketball top, but my nipples were very prominent in the picture. And I was like, Byron, I object to putting that picture. but
I don't know what that insecurity is, because we could certainly not see your nipples in the photo.
You weren't looking hard enough, Byron.
I don't think we need to go down this road. I don't think we need to use the N word.
I'm going to make it happen,
because
we found it.
Oh, Byron.
Now everyone's looking. I literally can't see your nipple. It's like,
I can see it.
This is
sexy.
a great.
Oh, it was a
great side profile of my knees. My mutated knees.
And our mutated lungs.
Where you weren't there, Byron? I'm not sure why you.
No, I couldn't make it. I can't recall why. I was so bleak about missing. It was your 30th, right?
It was my 30th. Yeah, it was a good one.
Oh man, so bummed.
What year was this?
Yeah, it would have been.
I'm gonna say
2011 exactly.
2011. Yeah. Oh, so I already had the words. Actually, I remember I had a splinter stuck in my hand that I didn't know was there. I'd had an injury of something that happened at the club. And then while I was there with you guys that weekend, I was wrestling with John, and this thing that was like 2 centimeters just like popped out of my hand. And it had just been like chilling in my palm. Yeah, that I mean,
I deserved it. But I also, that's the same holiday you burst my eardrum.
I'm sorry. I apologize again.
No, I deserved it, bro. I deserved it. I think
with a slap.
Yeah, he caught me on the ear with a.
I'd been feeling guilty about that. I felt guilty about that for a long time.
And I was fucking with him, I think with some shaving cream or something. And we were taking Oak's eyebrows off. So I deserved it. But I remember the whole trip, my ear was in such pain and bleeding.
Yeah, because you flew to Australia like the next day or something.
Yeah, when we got back to Australia, yeah. But that was a sick holiday. And Goons jumped into the pool and smashed up his nose. Jackson had one eyebrow, fell getting onto the boat and chopped up his leg. There was multiple incidents.
Jackson was bleeding within 10 seconds of getting onto the boat.
Yeah, he missed the step, stepping on.
Yeah. No, that was an excellent weekend, man. That was such a great time.
And we rented the van. We all flew down. It was a sick time.
I was 25 by then, so I had 10 years of experience on how to defend myself against you guys.
No, you caught me with a good one. I think we even still shared the same room. I think you and I shared a room at right at the end.
We actually always shared rooms. Something that we never spoke about at all was I wanted to speak a lot more about Sun City. I know you guys spoke about Sun City a lot in the other podcasts.
A lot of stuff we haven't brought up there.
Yeah, like we could almost do a whole episode on Sun City, but I'm pretty much out of time for today's session. But yeah, Sun City we got to talk about. John, you were my roommate for a long time, and Frank, you and I also had to share a room in Sun City once at the Cabanas on one of the what was it called? Summer or like spring festival. It was around the time of my birthday, like some spring thing in Sun City. Spring break.
And we all shared the big hostel
into
rooms.
Sun Cities.
Yeah, and the Luries, bro. The Luries was a big one there. That's when the fire extinguisher incident happened. And Toby got kicked off Team Roces, got banned from Sun City. There was a lot of
lifetime ban, they say.
Shout out Melon Bread.
We'll get into that at another stage.
Yeah, you guys, you need to find some more pictures of those days. We must have pictures of us jumping off that third-story balcony into all the mattresses that we put at the ground floor, jumping out of the hotel room. Yeah. You guys should think about doing an episode with Brent.
I'd like to do one with them both, if possible.
Get the moose involved.
Yeah, for sure.
We'd love to. Yeah, we've got to get in touch actually and arrange a time with
moose
him.
and
be much better to do it in person. I think.
Yeah, that was the weekend of where Graham Jackson stepped up from being like a hero to a legend. that was his time. That was a really special moment for the evolution of the jackal, I think. The Luries.
Yeah.
And then we had to go back to Sun City 2 weeks later.
That was probably the best show we ever did. I think.
Yeah. Graham Howard was in it. Who did our huge laid out flips? Was he from PE? Wayne Iverson was his name.
Was he a part of that?
He was part of our show team. He wasn't like legit Team Roces, but when we did certain shows, he was the guy. I mean, he did those massive flips, like misty flips, like 10 feet over the box, full body extension. That was a good show. Yeah, Luries was special. No one fell, and that was high pressure.
Bro, we rehearsed that like a lot. More so than we rehearsed any other stuff.
And on the night, they've used so much smoke from the smoke machines that you couldn't see anything. You couldn't even see the ramps.
And it was dark in there. There were stage lights. It was very hard to see those ramps, I remember.
That's when we were transitioning from being a street team to I don't even know what to call it. A team of clowns on wheels for corporate events. But we were there for the money, guys. We were getting paid. I think it felt really good for us to feel like we were actually getting paid properly for doing the thing that we loved. And we also never spoke about Rand Show, so that's something that's
a big one as well
for the future.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of good pictures from the Rand Show, so that's a project to try find some pictures from Rand shows.
There's a really nice group one of everyone who participated, and one with, I'll rather surprise peeps with them.
Wasn't there one with Thabo Mbeki when he was president?
That's what I was trying not to spoil. Doesn't matter. Really doesn't
Spoiler alert.
It's only been on Facebook for like 15 years.
Thabo Mbeki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Shout out. All right. Yeah. Thank you, all my friends. I think we're going to call it there for today. It was really great.
Yeah,
Thank you, Matt, for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
So good to catch up with you, boys. Great to see you and take this little trip down memory lane. Really enjoyed it. Thanks for getting all those pictures together, B.
Yeah, pleasure. Thanks for providing some of them. And it was a great pleasure to talk to you, my friend. And thank you for coming on our show and sharing your memories. We really appreciate it.
All right.
2.
Cheers, guys. Much love.
Shot, homie.
Speak
Much
soon.
love, boys. Peace.
Much love. Bye, everyone. See you next time.
Thanks, guys. Peace.
Cheers.